News coming in right now after Congress's scathing dictator attack on Prime Minister Modi. BJP now lashes out at the Congress, fact-checks Jairam Ramesh. BJP says naming of 400 institutions on one family is waste. Shahzad Poonawalla, BJP national spokesperson, has tweeted Congress against national interest, calls new parliament a colossal waste of money. Congress's Jairam had said that the first of the vanity projects is what the new parliament building is. He had said dictator wants to leave behind a legacy. Now the BJP has hit out at Jairam Ramesh for the comments that he made, calling Prime Minister Modi a dictator, saying that he wants to leave a legacy behind, and this is the first of his vanity projects and it is a colossal waste of the taxpayers' money. BJP says that the Congress is against national interest, that naming of 400 institutions on one family, in fact, is waste of money. My colleague Mosmi Singh is joining us live this afternoon from Delhi. Mosmi, the war of words between the BJP and the Congress is well and truly underway after Jairam Ramesh's dictator jibe at Prime Minister Modi, saying that the new parliament building is a vanity project.
Polemic that's likely to continue now till the end of till the elections of 2024. And clearly, if you see that right from the start, the Congress and the opposition party has been terming it as a colossal waste of money, hitting out at the Modi government. And not only Jairam Ramesh, Randeep Surjewala, in fact, reminding the Prime Minister and the BJP government that the project started right when the farmers were sitting in protest. So it is actually, built on the foundation of a compromise of democratic principles and values. And in the midst of a lockdown that the country was facing, money was being wasted. And importantly, the Prime Minister, on the other hand, paid a surprise visit, and this is not the first time. He's done it the second time, interacting with workers who have toiled to build a new parliament. Spending over an hour, and with that, that's given the Congress a fresh opportunity to hit back at the BJP government. This war of words has been continuing for long, and I think that it is more about credit taking. The Congress would not like to see the Prime Minister and the BJP actually take credit for the new parliament. In fact, saying that it is the duty of the government to make sure that the government conducts works of the day, and this was actually a needless waste.
Okay, so this is more, Mosmi, as you're saying, this is about who walks away with the credit for this new parliament building. Shahzad Poonawalla, BJP national spokesperson, is over the phone line with us. Mosmi, stay on. Mr. Poonawalla, Jairam Ramesh says this is one of the first personal vanity projects of the Prime Minister, and it's a colossal waste of the taxpayers' money.
Polemy, if hypocrisy had a face, it would look exactly like Jairam Ramesh, the same Jairam Ramesh, and you remember more than anybody because you've covered so long, that he was in favor of a new parliament building in 2010-12 when he said that the current one was outdated and was completely dangerous. Speaker Meera Kumarji's office had moved the file for this today, which was a priority in 2010-2012 because of the dangers that were posed by that building. How come today it is a vanity and that time it was a priority? Because the Congress can't earn commission today by giving out contracts. Maybe that is why. And secondly, please tell me, Polemy, that the same entire ecosystem went to court with all these arguments. The court has upheld that this is an essential project. We all know Hardeep Puriji did an elaborate press conference as to how this project is going to save lots of money of the central government, because currently the other secretariat is not big enough to house all the ministries and the offices, and therefore many are scattered across Delhi at high rents, and there's traffic and security issues also. All of those will be resolved. Is this a personal project like the 400 schemes and institutions named after one family? One family got thousands of crores worth acres of land in central Delhi for their memorials. That is not colossal waste and vanity for Jairam. What is vanity for Jairam is a parliament that will be built in Atmanirbhar spirit, that will represent the voice and will of India in the years to come. That is vanity for Jairam. That is his hypocrisy, and this is only because Congress can't earn money perhaps by giving out contracts to their favorite cronies, and that is why they are so upset about it.
Do you think that this is because, as you mentioned, that this project was signed off by former Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar? This is all about credit taking, that the Congress believes and fears possibly that Prime Minister Modi and the central government now is going to walk away with the credit for this building?
No, it's not even about that, Paulami. I mean, we are happy to give all of them credit. If they have proposed this, they should take the credit. Instead of credit fight, today they are blocking things in national interest merely because their parivarik interest ranks above national interest. I just have one question, and I hope Jairam Ramesh will talk to one of your reporters and answer the question that how come what he said in 2010-12 was a priority back then, and how come in 23, when the courts have cleared it, when there is an economic and other logistical and other issues that are in favor of this, how come it has become against national interest in 2023? Can you please explain that? Tomorrow, in the future, I'm talking, there might be a future delimitation exercise. I don't know when that will happen, but perhaps there will be one whenever in the future. At that time, there will be more MPs that will be required to be sitting in the House. Can the current Parliament accommodate them? So these many arguments which are in favor have already been kept in the public domain, and after an elaborate exercise in the courts, this project has been given a green signal. But the Congress party, always as usual, stands in favor of parivarik interest and in the opposite direction of national interest. They have even removed, some kind of objections to how the lion's face is in the national emblem. Fast reducing into political oblivion and political irrelevance by opposing things which they supported at one point of time only because parivarik interest is no longer served by them.
Okay, Mr. Poonawalla, thank you so much for speaking to India Today. So that is how the BJP, of course, has reacted to that charge which has been made by the Congress party, specifically by Jairam Ramesh, who called it a personal vanity project of the Prime Minister's. Remember that the Prime Minister paid a surprise visit yesterday to the new Parliament building, which is hopefully going to be thrown open to members of Parliament this year itself. He, of course, also interacted with some of the construction workers who've been involved in working on putting this building together, erecting this magnificent building. Mosmi is joining us at the moment. Mosmi, so that is of course the BJP's charge, that this is a project which at that point of time, Jairam Ramesh, when he of course was in government, thought it was priority. This was something, the old building, he called outdated at that point of time. Suddenly the same project which was considered to be priority earlier is now a vanity project.
I heard that, Paulami, and it will be left to Jairam Ramesh to fend for himself. But I can tell you that the Congress has made its line very clear. Every time there is a mention of the new Parliament, the Congress has slammed this project. In fact, as you said, as Jairam tweeted, that it is a vanity project of the Prime Minister, and every dictator likes to leave some architectural piece in his or her name. So thereby, the Congress is trying to underline the fact that this is actually very frugal of the government to waste so much money in the face of an economic crisis, in the face of unemployment and many other issues that were plaguing the country. At that point of time, the government was unfazed and kept moving ahead with such a lavish project of a new Parliament. But what Shehzad Poonawalla said, the strength of the Lok Sabha is going to get increased to 888 seats. And even in the Raj Sabha, it's almost an increase of 57% of the seats as far as accommodation is concerned. So this Parliament is going to be much larger. We'll have to see whether there is an entire delimitation exercise and the strength of the Parliament increasing. The government has been saying that this is a building of the future. It is a celebration of democracy. It is a celebration of the glorious past of the country. It will be reflective of various parts of India, the artifacts and the culture and tradition of India. In fact, the Cultural Ministry is actually monitoring over the entire interiors of this project. So it is going to be one of the proudest moments for the country, is what the government has been flaunting it as. And April end, we are told that the Parliament will be all set and ready. So we'll see if the knives would be out in the monsoon session. Perhaps the new monsoon session will be held in the new building. And obviously this is the time when the G20 summit, India is chairing the G20, and this is the presidency time. So it will be, the timing of it all will be actually bolster the government as far as, flaunting the Indian culture, tradition, and hailing it as a architectural wonder of Indian history is concerned.
Right, but of course, like you said, hailing it as an architectural wonder, but that is what Jairam Ramesh, in fact, is pointing fingers at as well when he tweets that this, of course, is one of the personal vanity projects of the Prime Minister, and only dictators want to leave behind such architectural legacies. Mosmi, thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. It remains to be seen if Jairam Ramesh, in fact, responds to the BJP's charge that it was he himself who had considered this project priority when the UPA was in power, but now, of course, considers it a personal vanity project of Prime Minister Modi's.